This is Joy News Prime.
From wherever you're watching in the world, this is Ghana's most comprehensive 2 hours of television news, and my name is Israel Lai. Coming up on Joy News Prime, scores of New Patriotic Party youth besiege party headquarters to demand reinstatement of suspended Chairman Paul Afoko. The party's flag bearers, meanwhile, pledged to make the agriculture sector a top priority for an MPP government. Power Minister says public schools must pay their utility bills rather than burden government with those bills. Microfinance firm Danfo makes good its promise to settle clients demanding their deposits a day after they agitated at the company's branches.
Coming up in business tonight, visiting IMF mission to Ghana gives government thumbs up on its performance under the fund program so far.
And new law to sanction spillage by oil firms operating in the country expected to be passed before the end of the year. Also in this bulletin, we bring you entertainment, sports, as well as get interactive with you on social media. This bulletin is also available across Europe on ABN television. Stay tuned. In our very first story, scores of MPP youth besieged the party's headquarters on Thursday morning to demand the reinstatement of the party's national chairman, Paul Afoko. Former party secretary of the Wa constituency, Abu Yusuf, presented a petition which was received by the director of protocol, CHRAJ. The angry youth had a simple message: no Afoko, no MPP.
About 10 buses brought the protesting group to the NPP headquarters. Placards with all manner of inscriptions were held up high to register their displeasure about Paul Afoko's suspension. They chanted, "No Afoko, no MPP." As they marched with police escort to present their petition in front of the party headquarters, a former constituency secretary from Wa, Abu Yusuf, presented their petition.
The supposed suspension of our duly elected, mandated national chairman, ill-timed, disastrous and destructive towards the Victory 2016 agenda. We demand an immediate resection of the erroneous decision to suspend Paul Afoko as the constitutional elected national chairman of our party and must be allowed to discharge his duties fully as prescribed by the constitution of our party. We are calling on former President Gofua, Nana Akufo-Addo, and Paul Afoko, Governor Japan, all steering committee members and former national chairman and general secretary to immediately convene a meeting and design a roadmap for party reconciliation and cohesion to ensure victory in 2016.
The director of protocol, CHRAJ, received the petition. However, there were some individuals at the party headquarters who were skeptical about the identity of the protesting youth.
And those of them, they are 90%. They have the right to demonstrate. We know where they are coming from, and the party is absolute, and party is going to hold forth by the structure of the party. We thank you all. Thank you all. God bless you all.
Afoko to use NDC against our for our party.
Some of the protesters spoke to Joy News.
We want our chairman, Chairman Paul Afoko, to be retained. The reason why we are saying he should be retained is I know he's fighting for the truth, and he is fighting for the youth, and he's fighting for the victory of MPP.
When you say the truth, what are you referring to precisely?
We are referring to some of the executives that they are stealing the party's money.
Do you have evidence?
The allegation they are sending up, and do they have any evidence of it? They do not.
The protesters came from the northern, upper east, west, eastern and Volta regions. They proceeded to the press center to brief the press and told Joy News they would also visit the flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo to press home their demand.
Well, true to their word, after massing up at the MPP headquarters, the pro-Afoko MPP supporters addressed a news conference to fully outline their demands. They described the decision to suspend Mr. Afoko as illegal.
The main man is Nana Akufo-Addo. I believe that he needs to make this peace. He came to Volta region He promised peace. Is that the peace? No. Is that the peace? No. And there's one thing. All the time, if Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo leave this country, there's something happen. Is it Nana? Is it that he planned? Is it that he planned with the people and then he left? Nana, we are pleading you. We are not ready to go to opposition again. Enough is enough. Nana, if you believe that you need power 2016, please quickly join hands together and move this party forward.
They should let our vote count internally. My brothers and sisters, we have to wake up. Let me tell you something. Those surrounding Akufo-Addo, they lead him to opposition 2008. They lead him to opposition 2012. Look at Peter McMenu. Right now, Peter McMenu is fighting for campaign manager. Hey, when you have the whole party in your pocket and you lead us to opposition, now we want campaign manager. My goodness. But if we lose 2016, if we lose, they won't get five months plus their years. They will die. Inshallah.
Hence, under no circumstance should a junta, a coup d'etat, be stated against these two people. This coup d'etat, stated by Freddie Blay and his courts, should not be accepted in our tradition. Our tradition frowns on coup d'etat. And hence, with all like-minded of the Democrat of the UP tradition, we will not accept. Afoko is the chairman of the New Patriotic Party, and he is the chairman of the New Patriotic Party.
This thing that is happening to our party, I'm just appealing to Nana Akufo-Addo. He alone cannot do the party. The party is supreme. He alone cannot do this party for us to come to power. The evidence is there. When we unite and work hard, we are going to be in power 2016. But what is going on, we don't know what is happening. We don't know what is happening. We don't know. They only say Paul Afoko is not calling meetings.
Other party supporters have also vowed to leave if nothing is done about the current situation.
Whatever that has happened, we have to come together as one family and work and win power. But you say that, oh, this man can go and we can win power. That is what we have been doing from 2008-12. They are bullying people. This man go, we can win power. Without you, we can win power.
They shouldn't forget that we are only boasting with only one region.
People assembly here. You are journalists, you have seen people from Volta region.
But Nana Akufo-Addo has already called on the party members to respect the decision that has been taken.
I will categorically say that, myself, if you put it aside, we are no going. What we should respect what? We should respect what? We should respect what?
All the rank and file of the party must respect that decision.
We should respect the decision for what? So Freddie Blay, you want Freddie Blay to be MPP national chairman. FF Anto. You want Freddie Blay to be MPP national chairman. FF Anto. If they think what they are doing is the best for them, let them continue doing it. He's a guy that you can...
You've given the party 1 week to address this concerns you are putting across. If the party doesn't address it...
we will leave them. We will not see anything. They should go and win the power. That's all. They should go and win the power. They should go. The power is there. They should go and win. If you think that you win your own machination, you don't care about what anybody say. But you know that now, MPP, we are telling Electoral Commission to listen to us. No, so we are telling Electoral Commission to listen to MPP. Yes. So now your own party people there, you don't want to listen to them, but you want the Electoral Commission to listen to you. So we are here. We are children. We don't know what we are doing.
Going into 2016, Mahama is not a joke. So we must not be seen to be joking. We need everybody on board. In 2008, we were beaten by 23,000 votes. The people here, I can tell you, they are inching towards that number. So if all these people are disgranted, and 2016 they didn't vote, then it means we can't get to the Flagstaff House.
So what will you do if the party doesn't respond to all this you are putting across?
Matilda, as you can see us here, we the party executives at the constituency level, we have taken a decision. If they don't respect us, we are not going to take any instructions from them.
Saying you're not going to take any instruction?
You will give instructions that constituency executives do this and that. I am a constituency, I'm an administrator of the party. Everything passes through me before it gets to anybody. And I'm saying that I will not take any instructions or directives from Freddie Blay and his cohorts at the party headquarters. I am saying that.
Away from all the agitation, flag bearer of the opposition New Patriotic Party says reviving the agriculture sector will be top priority for an NPP government in 2017. And Akufo-Addo believes the agriculture sector has the potential of dealing with the escalating youth unemployment situation as well as growing the country's economy. If voted into power, the NPP flag bearer says he will work with the youth to stabilize the economy and fight corruption. He was speaking at the 15th anniversary of the Tertiary Students' Confederacy TESCON of the NPP at the University of Ghana.
On the back of an expanding and diversified agriculture, we will set down on a solid platform of industrialization, which will see economic growth matched by job creation. You know, we can do it. But to do it, we must first get there. We must put all our hands to the wheel and drive the change we seek. Our solution will be principally fourfold. First, we will stabilize the economy and bring back the confidence the private sector needs to thrive. Second, we will come down heavily on corruption, instill fiscal discipline, and invest the savings made in areas that can create jobs or open up the economy for greater vibrancy. We will do so by developing and expanding rapidly our public infrastructure with value for money at the heart of its financial arrangements and the active support and participation of the private sector. And the Akufo-Addo government will invest in our institutions of learning to acquire new technology, to provide skills and education to the nation of young people who are being left out of the job market. No nation can afford to marginalize the youth, the very group that makes up the chunk of its labor force.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break at this point. When we come back, we have more stories. Please don't go away. You're watching Joy News Prime. The Transport Committee of Parliament is considering launching investigations into the controversial contract between the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority and private firm Photorex. The company is reported to have been overpaid for the contract in a case that has already been investigated by the Economic and Organized Crime Office and been ordered by YOCO to refund 80 million cedis to the DVLA. Chairman of the Road and Transport Committee of Parliament, Theophilus Tetechai, told Joy News the legislature may launch its own investigations into the matter.
I believe that if YOCO has done an extensive work on DVLA and certain findings have been made, as a committee, it should be of interest to us because we are not into direct management. We oversee some of the things that they do, and it will be very difficult to be able to unearth some practices within the day in and day out of the institution. So it's a welcoming news. We have also programmed to meet DVLA, and then all those issues will be brought to the fore. Luckily for us, we have a member who was also a former DVLA chief executive, and he has a lot of knowledge, institutional memory on some of the things that he did and then before he left into office. And he will assist the committee to have a good understanding of what has taken place.
But do you have details of the YOCO report on the subject?
Currently, no. I also heard the whole issue through the media, but I believe that certainly once the documents are out, we also get copies, and then we'll go through and then know exactly what has gone on.
So possibly you may summon the DVLA officials who appear before you to respond to the issues in the media.
Oh, exactly, because that is the more reason why I told you that we've programmed to meet the DVLA, and some of these issues are going to come up. Because we also had issues about the ID cards that kept that long. We've raised issues about it. We were giving certain information. So per what we are getting now, it gives a contradiction. So there's a need for the committee to actually meet the officers in charge and then find out exactly what the problem was.
It may be premature to pass judgment, but what do you make of the issues involved, the amount of money is involved, and indeed the UCO report that these issues were procured on fraud?
Well, per the laws of the country, if lay-down procedures were circumvented, that one, the law will take its course. And it is the duty of the committee to also investigate deep into the issues and then come out with a very good conclusion.
Well, in the latest development on the contract between the DVLA and PhotoX, Joy News has learned that the Attorney General has recommended the termination of that contract. And that story is available at myjoyonline.com. You can get there and read a bit more or read the details on that story. Now, in other news, Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor has thrown a challenge to the heads of government schools to strive and pay their own utility bills rather than rely on government to take up that tab. Several public health and education facilities have in recent times been disconnected from the national grid for non-payment of the electricity bills. Students of the country's tertiary institutions are also kicking against attempts by their schools to bail them, saying government had pledged to pay on their behalf.
What we got from government is that government has assured students that they will continue to pay utility bills. And so we still stand by that position. For that matter, we didn't see the need for the meeting because we had the communication from government that they will continue to pay.
Right. I'm curious, is this just the University of Ghana students, or they brought students from all the other universities together?
Well, students from all the public universities in Ghana were present, and the vice chancellors of all the public universities too were present at the meeting. And so it's not the gathering of only University of Ghana, but a gathering of student leaders and vice chancellors.
Okay, so when they told you that, you said you wouldn't agree, and then what happened?
Of course, they told us that if we will not agree, they are going to close our schools down. And we told them that move can never happen in this country, so far as we are concerned. And so we told them, well, we will take the fight and continue because we will not sit down to allow that to happen.
So this interview was earlier on Tuesday, but in an interview with Joy News, Beatrice Edu, Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor argued that tertiary institutions in particular should have no excuse when it comes to paying their bills because they can raise the funds from their own sources.
As a sector, we insist that all consumers must pay for electricity.
Including photographers?
Why are they not consumers? All consumers must pay for electricity. However, there are arrangements. Cabinet has decided that critical academic facilities and critical health facilities will pay for their utilities, but in a different way. They will still have post-paid billing. And by critical academic facilities, once we've asked the question, we are talking of lecture halls, we are talking of libraries, we are talking of laboratories. Those are the critical academic facilities. The Ministry of Finance says they will continue to pay for them. If we take the hospitals, we're talking about clinical facilities, we're talking about the wards, we're talking about the operating theaters, we're talking about the morgues, we're talking about the laboratories. Those are the critical health facilities for which the Ministry of Health will continue to pay. Let's be honest as a people. Kolebu's IGF, internally generated fund, is bigger than my ministry's budget. They will use this IGF to pay everything else other than electricity. If we don't pay for electricity, we will not be in a position to generate electricity going forward. So if And the issue, I'm surprised that the issue is even being looked at this way. If you take the University of Ghana, only about 30% of students are in the traditional halls. All students pay for electricity. So if we are talking about equity, why must 70% pay and 30% not pay?
Now, agitated workers of Volta Star Textiles Limited are calling for diversification of the factory. The workers who protested over unpaid salary arrears on Wednesday also questioned the viability of the company, which is going through challenging times. The workers who have turned down a payment plan by management say similar promises and arrangements in the past have failed. They say the only way out is for President Mahama to pay the arrears and diversify the factory.
A lot of people over here in the management are on pension. Why are they not leaving the work for all, the younger one, to take over? They are living with their stomach. Their basic is even more than even my 10 years salary. This is too much. People over there, they are not qualified. They are not qualified because of loan service. They are there. What some people, me, I'm like this. I did accounting in university, but because when I came here, they said I did not know anything about textiles. So I was employed as a weaver for almost 1.5 years. No permanent. My salary is what? 162. 162. It's too much. 162. It's too much. We are dying. So let the government should employ a skilled personnel to take in charge of the administration.
So you would rather go for diversification of the company, of the factory?
Exactly.
Is that what you guys are calling for?
Exactly. Exactly. We want investors to come and invest. They shouldn't leave the work for these people.
I sleep here all night. Look at this stone. I sleep on this stone. When the management is sleeping on their bed, but as at now, look at me. I'm still like that. When we come to work in the night for night shift, when it's break, this is our bed. This stone is our bed.
No resting, please.
No resting. We sleep for 30 minutes. But still look at us. We are still like that. Are we not Ghanaians? Are we not Ghanaians? We are pleading with Mahama to step into this work. For at the time Briscoe was here, when you work for 3 to 6 months, you have been permanent. Your enjoyment with your family and your household is perfect. But look at what is happening now. We are suffering. 8 hours standing. It's not easy.
In other news, clients of microfinance firm Ghana.Video at Cashew in the Central Region who demanded their deposits from the company yesterday began receiving refunds. Joy News checks reveal the company is making good its pledge on Wednesday to settle the clients, except the payments are being staggered. Derek Ekosam has the update in the following report.
Another charged atmosphere greeted the news team. This time, not one of anger, but of apprehension. Customers who had heard the firm had resumed operations trooped to the premises of the Cashew branch of Ghana.Video Microfinance firm to withdraw their deposits. But they were told they could only be paid in 2 tranches and did not like the idea.
I'm waiting my money to take.
Why?
I was at a site when they called me that I have my the bag that I was saving with Ghana.Video was collapsed. So I was rushing quickly to here. When I came, a lot of people are here wanted to take their money.
Okay, I understand that today we paid half of your money. Are you okay with it?
I'm not okay at all.
Why?
Because the money is not me alone. It's for somebody, and I was keeping it for the person.
Okay, it's very bad, but it depends on the pressure that the people are putting on the bank. That's why things are going like that.
So are you okay with the half payment?
Okay, we shall accept it. A beggar have no choice. But we are praying that they will resume on their feet and serve everybody good.
Now, I'm a pregnant woman, it's 7 months old, and I have a small boy too at my back. And instead of them to come down to tell us something, there is nothing going on like that.
I'm a street hawker. I stand on pavement before I get my money.
So you've been able to take your money?
Still, I'm not able to take it. Now before they give us a number, and I'm now 52, so I'm waiting for them. I'm not happy with it at all. I'm not happy with it at all.
Though they are unhappy with the partial refund of their deposits, the customers of Ghana.Video might be taking solace in the saying that half a loaf is better than none. But what remains to be seen is whether the company can regain their confidence and even attract new clients. For Joy News, Derek Ekosam.
In a related development, the board member of Jerifa Danfo, George Bonnet, says despite the company's current state of parent distress, it still has a bright future.
Past staff of the company and other related competitors who set rumors that DA is being closed down, which can never be true. So this panic went on.
Why did you close your offices yesterday?
Offices were not closed. It was only Cashew branch
and then branch was also closed yesterday.
Cashew branch and the Medina branch they were closed. Well, as I'm telling you, we had a panic withdrawal. People went in looking for their money instantly, and so there were some breakages, and so they were closed down for repairs and for other security things. But you know very well, this morning they are all opened.
Yeah, they are open, but my checks at the Cashew branch revealed that the customers who want to withdraw are being paid half of the amount of money they want to withdraw.
Surely, sincerely, when there are panic withdrawals, all investors will come and they want the whole of their money, which you know they will have to resort to our votes to pay them. Thankfully, directors and shareholders are putting in much to try to salvage a situation. It depends on the quantum that they want to withdraw. But if it's too big, we can't handle all that. We're giving them assurance that by the close of the weekend, everything is going to be okay.
Yesterday, there was a press statement citing liquidity issues as the reasons why you were going through what you were going through. For the layman who does not know what these liquidity issues are, could you please explain?
Not exactly liquidity issues. As at last week, we're in full operation. Everything was okay. As I said, there was a rumor and there was a panic withdrawals, and the panic withdrawals indeed will put up us in a bit of distress situations. It's got nothing to do with liquidity. We've been in full-blown operation all throughout. You know, DA.
The others who are saying that the company is going through hard times, are you going through very turbulent times as a company, and do you think you would survive this one?
Every financial institution in the country are going through some serious times. But sure, we are all surviving. Every financial institution, you should know better. Every financial institutions, I wouldn't know how Bank of Ghana, they may be a state institution, but all financial institutions are facing a bit of crunch because of the economy which we are running. But we're keeping things running.
Watching Joy News Prime, we're taking a break at this point. When we come back, we bring you business news with Eton Amsey. Please stay tuned.
Business News is brought to you by...
It's time now for business. Eton Amsey is here. I was just having a chat with Eton about some of the stories that are coming up. One of the stories that interests me is what the Institute of Fiscal Studies is saying, that if we're expecting anything to change anytime soon.
It wouldn't, because our debt to GDP ratio, it's above 70%. Well, Tekla says it's 68.
Well, it's just around 70%. Let's say 70%.
But the good news, Israel, is that, well, under the IMF program, yesterday, you know, we're worried. We're worried that
they didn't believe us.
But
do they believe us?
We've been given a satisfactory card. So by the end of November, we should be receiving our $116 million Israel.
Okay, satisfactory. How does that compare to average, and how does that compare to poor?
I think
how
it's
far away is that from excellence?
I think it's far from excellence. But I mean, bottom line, we are going to be getting our second tranche, and hopefully it will help stabilize the city somehow.
All right.
All right, now, your performance under the IMF program can be described as satisfactory with all the end of August performance criteria met. That's the report card the visiting IMF mission to Ghana handed to government. The following report is more.
According to the visiting IMF mission, Ghana made the satisfactory progress under the program despite a difficult global environment which impacted negatively on growth and inflation for the first half of this year. The team, which was led by Tujas Bernat, indicated that government has made progress in implementing fiscal structural reforms, although at a slower pace than expected in some areas. The mission welcomed steps taken by the government government in addressing payroll irregularities and advancing public financial management reforms, adding that, quote, with the high level of public debt and financing constraints, the planned fiscal adjustment under the program will be strengthened in 2016, unquote. The team also noted that government has put together a package of revenue and spending measures for the 2016 budget to bring the fiscal deficit down to 5.3% of GDP next year, instead of the 5.8% envisaged in the program. It, however, added that further fiscal adjustments alongside tight monetary policy would help restore macroeconomic stability. It also added the Bank of Ghana has expressed its commitment to adjusting the monetary policy stance, saying it is necessary to bring down inflation towards its medium-term objective.
Now, economic think tank Institute for Fiscal Studies is warning that the current challenges facing the economy are far from over, indicating that Ghanaians might have to brace themselves for tough times ahead. The institute is basing its predictions on serious shortfalls with revenue, a situation that will put a lot of pressure on government's finances. Executive Director of the Institute for Fiscal Studies, Professor Newman Kusi, spoke to Joy Business at a forum on the 2016 budget put together by his outfit.
The business is that we astronomically increasing our debt stock, debt stock. The debt stock has increased to now 94.59%, which is about 70.9% of GDP. And remember, we have to pay interest on this debt cost. And so if you look at the government expenditure structure, you will see that interest costs alone is even more than capital expenditure. And I don't know any country where government spend more on interest than investment, which will generate the revenue to create that. That's the first. The second thing is that there's extreme indiscipline in the management of the economy. You see, there's extreme indiscipline in the management of the economy, in the sense that we don't follow up to do a reprioritization exercise and seek value added for some of the expenditures that we make. We just provide that we're going to spend on A, B, C, D, E without taking a value added evaluation to establish how they contribute to the growth of the economy. And it continues, it continues like that, because we know that why? What happened? No, if we don't have money, we can go and borrow and those type of things. And then sometimes they have an erroneous impression that the oil revenue will help us. Look, actually, we get only 18.5% of the oil revenue. Total oil that is produced, the country gets only 18.5%. 13% through participation, free carry interest and participation, and 5% royalty. That is it. You see, so if you look at the total revenue that the oil production will generate and think that that's all is coming to government, and therefore you base your expectation and those things on that amount, your model is flawed.
Now, still on government, proposals for the establishment of an autonomous body to check the government's expenditure has been put on hold. The Fiscal Council, which is being championed by the IMF, was expected to take off next year, subjected to parliamentary approval. The council will, among other things, vet government's targets set out in the budget when it comes to revenue and expenditure. It will also have the power to sanction government officials and agencies that consistently spend out of the budget. Eva Menz is the chief economist at the Finance Ministry.
I think it's one of the proposals that came up, but we didn't think that immediately we pass a law. We have a history of whenever a law is passed and we set up an institution to manage that. We don't think that immediately that is needed. We already have governing councils of ministries. We believe that the ministry is already accountable to cabinet and to parliament. We want to use existing institutions to make the Ministry of Finance more accountable.
But that was seen as a proposal from donor partners, and so wouldn't that decision to step it down come with some consequences then?
We hope it's all about building consensus around some of these provisions. Yes, there were proposals, but we also have to consider country context. It is not everything that is done everywhere that is suitable for us. So we considered that proposal within our country context. We can have a fiscal council that is ineffective. because funding is, you can have a government that decides that I won't fund the fiscal council. You have governance institutions that are not fully funded. So having another institution necessarily doesn't make us achieve the objective that we are seeking to achieve.
Cashew farmers and processors fear the industry could collapse if a lot is not done to improve lending to the sector. This follows the suspension of government guarantees, which enabled them access cheaper loans from banks. Speaking with Joy Business at a stakeholders meeting, President of the Cooperative Cashew Farmers and Marketers Association, Kwekwedu, says this has adversely affected processing.
One of the problems is financing. It's very difficult to get a finance for the cashew processing, and like we know, cashew has become a very expensive commodity in the country, not like when we started in 2011. Every year, in fact 2011, the price was around 60-90 pesos, and as we speak, the price has gone up to 4 cedis per kilo. And so getting financing has become a challenge, and so by the time you get funds to buy, the quality has come down, and then the price has also gone up, and so it becomes very difficult to be able to process and then get your money back, let alone to make profit.
But director in charge of cashew at the Ministry of Agriculture, Seth Osei, is blaming the situation on the high credit default rate by farmers.
At the moment, they are faced with basic challenges. Even where they have access of getting the funds, the high interest rate is preventing them from getting the finance to get the funds to support their activities. And then when it comes to the farmers at the small level are looking for money to support, to get basic inputs and for the maintenance of the farms. But that one too has become a challenge because first, we did introduce such a package for the farmers, but some of the farmers abused the system. Having got the credit, they failed to pay back. So now when they approach the banks, sometimes they are not willing to give it to them. And as a government, what we can do is that we can just facilitate the process, but we cannot be involved in direct, unless of course they themselves organize themselves very well, present themselves to the banks, and the banks probably will work with them.
Time to talk cash now, and wondering how the cedi is trading against the major currencies in the world. Well, if you have dollars and you want to buy cedis from the bank on the interbank market, you will need you'll be getting 3 cedis 78 pesos. That's if you have a dollar you want to change into cedis, and if you want you have cedis and you want to buy dollars from the bank, you'll be giving 3 cedi 79 pesos for a cedi. And it goes for the British pound. If you have a pound and you want to get cedis, you need 5 cedi. You'll be getting 5 cedi 76 pesos. And then if you have cedis and you want to buy the British pound, 5 cedi 77 pesos. Same goes for euro. If you have euro, you want cedis, it's 4 cedi 1 peso, and then it's also selling just around the same rate. And let's go to the commodity market. For crude oil, it changed at 1%, just around 1%, and closed at $46.82. And then for cocoa, it changed, the price changed, it changed at 0%, almost 1%, and closed at 3,271 metric tons. And then for gold, it also lost at almost 1%, and then it closed at 1,107. That's how we wrap up with business. My name is Etonam Say.
Watching Joy News Prime. Now on to the rest of our stories. The Upper West Directorate of the Food and Drugs Authority has seized several gallons of palm oil from some second cycle institutions in the region. In addition, they have taken samples of the products from some markets to test for possible contamination with the Sudan 4 dye. The Upper West Regional Officer of the FDA disclosed this to Joy News correspondent Rafiq Salam in an interview in WA.
Following reports of the adulteration of palm oil with Sudan 4, a cancer-causing red dye typically used to color plastics, officials of Food and Drug Authority (FDA) in the Upper West region have been touring market centers to collect samples of the product in this part of the country. Only a handful of palm oil vendors were at the market at the time of the visit of the FDA officials. They also visited second cycle institutions in the region and seized gallons of palm oil for further tests to ensure its safety. Gordon Akurugu is the Upper West Regional Officer of the FDA.
To pick from the markets, and the market women were educated and they've already heard about it, and then we pick it from the market women and took from the schools, which we think that at the end of the day, FDA should be bold to tell consumers that oil found in Upper West is safe for consumption. Oil found in Upper West is not safe for consumption, so that we even pinpoint which point can they get good oil in Upper West to buy.
He appealed to the public to give information to the FDA if they suspect vendors of adulterating food.
Consumers, as we are, have our right, and we have to exhibit our right. But notwithstanding that, these people who are doing this, adulterating this palm oil, are living with us, are staying with us. We see them doing it and we are buying it. But the truth is that because there's a variety of nuts that is used in producing palm oil, when you use it, it gives you a reddish color and it's very delicious. Because people think they want that delicious palm oil, they go in to add the color to it to deceive with the consumers. But those who are doing that are staying with us. We are appealing to consumers to come out with information to support FDA, to come out criminals who are in our markets. And also, we want consumers to know that they have their right to buy what they want. They shouldn't go in to buy sicknesses. And they should support FDA, not that we should say we are going to collapse the economy with regards to palm oil. That is not the intention of the FDA. But if you assess the safety risks, the safety and the risk factors, you realize that what FDA is doing is good to save the lives of people.
Some vendors of palm oil at the wild market said, even though the exercise embarked on by the FDA is already having an effect on them because there is low patronage, they however think it will help save the lives of their customers. Abina Santi has been a palm oil vendor for 10 years, and the crackdown by the FDA has hit her hard. Nonetheless, she believes it is for the greater good. Rafiq Salam's report from Wa.
In a related development, food scientists at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are warning about the widespread practice of food contamination or adulteration in many parts of the country. The warning follows news of the nationwide clampdown on the sale of palm oil contaminated by the carcinogenic Sudan 4 dye. The KNUST scientists say the contamination of food is not limited to palm oil alone. And joining us via Skype with more on this is a lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Faustina Dufie Reku Menu. Good evening to you, Dr. Reku Menu.
Good evening, and good evening to your listeners.
All right, so thank you for joining us. Now, give us details of what you found in your survey.
Well, as you rightly said, there's news in the air. We've heard from different people what is being done on our markets. So our department embarked on a survey at different regions in Ashanti, Brong-Ahafo, and the northern regions of Ghana. And we selected some markets, interviewed some market women, and we focused on processed products such as powdered pepper, tomato powder, fish powder, groundnut paste, and then palm oil. And then we found out that it is not just palm oil, as FDA has just found out, but when you look at powdered pepper, for instance, the women add kola nut, dry kola nuts, milled, and then they also have a pear seed that is dried and milled and added to pepper, and then they add food color to it so that it will look the reddish color of normal pepper for our consumers. And the intention is to increase the content or the quantity, and also to let consumers know that it is actual pepper, but it is not. they've added a lot of things. And then we also had tomato powder. What we found out was that tomato powder that we have on the market is not actual tomato powder. They have what they call intosea, but there's a seed of a plant that is grounded, and then they add maize chaff and then color to it so that it looks like tomato powder, but it is not. So there is no tomato in that kind of powder that they sell on the market. Then fish powder, groundnut paste, and palm oil, we also found other things that are added. And to talk about the palm oil, we also found out that they add millipede during production.
Oh, hold it. Millipede?
Yes, you heard me right. In fact, when I heard it, I was a little bit surprised. But I've gone ahead or the department has gone ahead to ask people in the villages where palm oil is usually produced. And I think it is not news over there. They add millipede, thinking that millipede gives the reddish color that people want, consumers want in palm nut.
So, Doc, would they use millipede and still use the Sudan 4 dye? Or they use...
that is what we found out. They add millipede during the production, and then they add this Sudan 4 dye. At the time that we had it, they just told us they add some powder, which is colored, and we suspected it to be Sudan 4. Yes. So they add these two.
But all these things, cause they're dangerous, to human consumption. Essentially, we're eating stuff that we think we're eating tomato powder, we're eating palm oil and groundnut paste, and yet we're eating something completely different.
Exactly. That is what is on our markets. And so we found out that it's a reality. Initially, it was just a hearsay, but from this survey, the women were very bold to tell us. And we found out that it is a reality, and therefore we have to find solutions to this problem that is affecting almost everybody who is in Ghana.
What solutions would you suggest?
Well, from the department, we decided to have a first national conference on food fraud, which is coming on in January 27th at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, specifically at College of Science Auditorium. So we are having this food fraud conference, and we are inviting everybody. We are inviting the lawmakers. We are inviting people who are into food business. We are inviting the general public. We are inviting these market women, both producers and sellers. And then we want to find out what is going on. We want people to tell their stories from different angles. We are also inviting research scientists. What have they found in their lab? So that together we will think of how to combat this problem. As I said, it is not just palm oil. We have it in almost all the products that are processed on our Ghanaian market. So we have to find pragmatic solutions as to how to solve it. And on this conference, or at this conference, we are inviting somebody from UK, because we know food fraud is not just a local issue, it's a global issue. In UK, they have a lot of issues with food fraud, so they've set up a food crime unit where they are also looking into it, the impacts on their citizens, and then find ways and means of combating it. So we are getting somebody from UK to come and share their experiences, and then the kind of tests they are doing. And what we want to find from this conference, again, is that we want to sensitize the public, and then we also want to educate them on what the law says, the dangers of it, the dangers of food fraud, and also what they can do, how they can report it.
Okay.
And we are also trying to find...
All right, so we'll be there. We will be there at the conference. So do well to invite us as well.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Faustina Dufie-Reku Menu is a lecturer at the University of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We're taking a break at this point. When we come, I'll bring you international news. Right, so we have Joy News Interactive coming up in the next hour, and Aisha Ibrahim is here to tell us what's coming up. Good evening to Aisha.
Good evening, Israel. It's all about doom saw and we having to pay more. I think it's the issue we're going to talk more about, because a lot of people are pissed off that they need to pay more to get electricity. The electricity itself is not coming because we're sleeping.
And interestingly, each time they keep on telling us we should pay more, and the electricity will come in, and that it doesn't.
And that's when it even gets worse. So imagine. So when government institutions owe the #1 power distributor millions of Ghana cedis, and there's a frustrating power crisis. Talk about how the bill should be managed becomes top of mind for Ghanaians.
What we must understand in this country is that nothing comes free. I mean, the power generation companies are producing this power by importing crude oil, paying workers, and we have to pay for it. It's as simple as that.
Well, Power Minister Kwabena Donkor is echoing this. He says all must pay. We'll be talking all about that. Then along the line, I'll show you a couple of videos trending on social media as well as the bad side of the internet. Join us on Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter within the hour.
All right, so we'll have that coming up in about 30 minutes. Please stay tuned. Also coming up after this break, we'll bring you sports and entertainment. Please stay tuned. This is Joy News Prime Time now for a recap of our top stories. Scores of New Patriotic Party youth besiege party headquarters to demand reinstatement of suspended chairman Paul Afoko. The party's flag bearer has meanwhile pledged to make the agriculture sector top priority for an MPP government. Power Minister says public schools must pay their utility bills rather than burden government with those bills. Microfinance firm Jodifadamfo makes good its promise to settle clients demanding their deposits a day after they agitated at the company's branches. And on to some other stories. The petitioner in the case that led to the removal of the CHRAJ commissioner has lauded President Mohammed's decision to relieve Loretta Lamte of her position. Ruti Nyama filed a petition that triggered the investigation into Madame Lamte's stay in a hotel for several months at the taxpayer's expense. He says the decision to remove her from CHRAJ is a victory for the campaign against corruption.
I wouldn't say any specifics, because loads of them, at a point even some of them were not accepted. For instance, I had loads of memos that had to do with her travels, and the committee rejected majority of them on the basis that they were not signed. Okay. They were not signed by who? Yeah, there was no signature indicating who the authority were, so they couldn't actually confirm or deny if it was. But its origins and content were not being in dispute. There's this issue of her role as the NANRE chairman, Network of African Human Rights Institutions. She was the chairman, and actually until her suspension was the chairman. And the role she played there, there was evidence that we put out there that was the masterstroke for me. When she was claiming how beneficial her role in Africa was to Ghana, being chairman and the kind of benefits it brought to Ghana and the exposure and all that. And we put in evidence to the contrary, where her colleagues were rather accusing her of incompetence, misappropriation, and all sort of virtually the same claims we were making. She was being accused of that at the international level as well.
So what do you make, of course, that details of, the committee's report should be made public?
Oh, there's no option to that. The president cannot choose to keep the report to himself. It's not his. It's for the people of the Republic of Ghana. He's custodian. I'm currently sitting here. I don't have a copy. Okay. I don't know exactly what the committee recommended to the president to do. We are currently all talking about her being dismissed. that could be only one of the recommendations. From the way CHRAJ was run, I would expect some recommendations on institutional restructuring of CHRAJ, how to make it more effective, how to prevent another commissioner doing what has happened.
Now, police in Kumasi have arrested 7 suspected car snatchers. They were arrested from their hideouts in 3 suburbs in the city. A correspondent from Inshra FM in Kumasi, Kofi Asante, has been following the development and joins us on the phone. Good evening to you, Kofi. What did the police say at this news conference?
Well, it is right. According to the Deputy Ashanti Regional Police Commander, what he has said is that ahead of the Christmas, they are intensifying their patrol and combating of crime in the region. And within this month, that is November, just last Tuesday and Wednesday, these have been arrested, suspected armed robbers, proceeded to matching about 5 cars from urban bars to a taxi or a commercial bus from their victims. And according to them, activities of these suspected armed robbers have been going on over the years. They are linked to some robbers who have been arrested and convicted. Some are serving about 100 years jail term, others 45 and others 54. And they have confessed, having a link with all these people, and now that they have been arrested. The Deputy Regional Police Commander, Mr. Mpokuti, announced to the media that they have arranged and mop up and exercise an operation called Operation Crime Free, which the officers who are in the various offices have now been asked on the street, the various, in areas where these notorious armed robbers are known to be operating, Abuabo, Sawaba, and the new site, where they are going to visible at the various areas.
All right, thank you very much, Kofi Asante, joining us from Kumasi. Now, Joy News is learning the absence of laws to regulate pollution in the country's offshore oil fields has left determination of compensation and punishment for spillage in the hands of oil companies operating in the country. This may, however, change with the draft bill on maritime pollution already approved by Cabinet and expected to be laid in Parliament under a certificate of urgency. The bill, according to proponents, spells out clear sanctions and compensation for communities in the country in the event of a spillage. Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Transport, Theophilus Setechai, tells correspondent Elton Probe the bill is long overdue.
The marine pollution bill is to me, one of the very important bills that this House needs to approve. In the sense that in the last Parliament, this bill was brought to the House for consideration and an approval, but it couldn't see the light of day, and as such, it ended with that last Parliament. Currently, it has been programmed for this current sitting, and I believe that the Ministry will present this particular bill for the committee to actually look at the bill.
And what is
the essence
to cure or address?
Yeah, as a country, we are now producing oil, and we all know some of the consequences of oil production. That is when oil spillage. As a country, we don't have laws that will protect the interests of the country when there's oil spillage on our high seas. Because we know when there's oil spill, what happens is that the marine environment, in terms of the fishes in the water, that's marine flora and fauna, are all affected. And even trying to clean the mess is also another headache. Yeah, per international conventions, if you want certain laws to apply, you need to ratify those laws or pass those things in your parliament. And once those things have not been done, clearly, it will be very difficult the person will dictate to you because you don't have the requisite laws to protect yourself. But then, if the law is right before you, if that spillage is to occur, then the person is going to pay for the consequences because the bill contains all those things. And that
Minister for Transport Jifa Ativo is hopeful the bill will be passed into law before the House rises for the Christmas festivities. Now, the Community Health Nurses Association of Ghana has given the Ministry of Health 14 days to reconsider a decision to change their professional designation. Under new measures, community health nurses are supposed to be known as nurse assistants or registered nurse assistants. The association says the move is discriminatory.
We are the ones spearheading primary health care in the country. We are always looked down upon and always discriminated against, even in career progression. Several attempts has been made to get the name reinstated by NMC since May 2015, but to no avail. We have suffered discrimination and frustration for far too long and will not sit down for this demotion to be carried out. We are by this press conference appealing once again to the Honorable Minister of Health, the Parliament of Ghana, the Director General of Ghana Health Service, and other major stakeholders of health to halt the change of name from community health nurse to nurse assistant, since the action by the Nursing and Midwifery Council contravenes the provision of the Constitution in Article 191B. We want the household name community health nurse and nothing else.
You're watching Joy News Prime, and we're bringing you entertainment next. Please stay tuned.
Entertainment news is brought to you by...
Ms. G has joined me, and they always say that life can be so boring if you don't have entertainment in it. So even politics has some entertainment.
True.
And
True.
apparently Nanado or the MPP has been making sure that there's entertainment in what they do.
Of course, you know when there's election next door, they use music actually to do their rallies and all that. So definitely they cannot do without.
Why is the MPP launching the track they'll be using for the campaign?
Well, that's not just about the MPP. Now it's about Nana Akufo-Addo, who is presidential candidate for the MPP. Apparently, he's even more of an entertainment fanatic than you and I thought. Now, yes, at the TESCON 15th anniversary today at Legon, he's been talking about some entertainers that he thinks are young and he can work with when he becomes president.
All right.
I'm encouraged in my thinking by the continuing creativity and sense of enterprise of several of Ghana's young people. This reinforces my unshakable belief in the prospects of our nation, the Black Star of Africa. So I speak of talents such as Sarkodie, Samini, and his friend Shatawale. Russell Sue, Sydney, Rabla, Becca, Ophia, Paul Kessie, R2B, Ohima Mercy, Joyce Blessing, Selena Boateng, Superintendent Kofi Sapwa, Joe Better, Eugene Zuta, Sonny Bay.
Okay, that's good. He's trying to show you he's also hip.
Exactly. He has a very tall list of them. But people are wondering how come.
Essentially, he's trying to tell you that he beats Mahama when it comes to knowing
exactly.
the
But
artists.
you know, people are wondering how come he never mentioned Stone Boy, and it's because Mahama had already mentioned Stone Boy and Wuta and all the guys that Mahama mentioned. You know, people will definitely want to read.
The list was tall. I mean, we read some. I mean, we heard him mention some of them. Probably, if he had exhausted the list, he would have mentioned everybody else.
Well, you're just holding brief for him. But let's talk about the music of Black origin. The Mobile Awards took place last night, and it's Fuse ODG that beats Shatawale to winning this award.
Right. I mean, there was one award that Chatawale should have won because, let's say, Stonemoy has taken everything else. And Fuse has taken...
No, Fuse is actually winning this for the 3rd time running, you know, for 3 consecutive years.
Mobo, by the way, is music of black origin.
Yes, music of black origin. And so...
Well, congratulations to Fuse. It's been impressive.
Yes,
I think it's been consistent as well.
And it's still propagating this is new Africa movement, you know, the Tina movement. Let's talk about comedian Julius Agu, Nigerian comedian Julius Agu. You know him?
Yeah.
All right. You know that 2015 has not been a good year for him. He actually had to undergo a brain surgery earlier in the year, after which he came up to say that he's setting up a Christian nightclub. Now, he's still talking. This time around, he's talking about disloyalty in the Nigerian entertainment industry and the fact that he actually raised a lot of these artists that we are seeing today. And also that he thinks that the devil is having a grip on the industry.
Oh, wow. We're moving on to Trevor Noah. And Trevor Noah, he's a South African who managed to take over Jon Stewart's show.
Yes, he's the 3rd person to have taken over the show.
And that show is huge, and for Trevor Noah to be, put on there to take over the show, I think it's impressive. But apparently he's had to undergo some surgery.
Yes, he had appendix and had to do a surgery yesterday, and so his show didn't come on live yesterday. They had to do a repeat of the show, but his friends have been wishing him well, and they're hoping that he'll be back to have the show.
As in come back
on air, yes.
Yeah, he needs to come back because I think he's been doing pretty well.
Exactly.
Jon Stewart was Jon Stewart took it way up there, and Trevor Noah is trying to also build himself up, and I pray that
a lot of people have been talking about him because his half is from South Africa and actually from a very popular place in South Africa, Soweto, and for him to have risen this far, a lot of people are proud.
It was massive for him. Massive for him. All right. And what else do you have to?
And it's Vladimir Putin is expecting to receive or to meet with Sir Elton John, who says it's going to be.
Oh, really? Is that coming on? I thought at some point they said they had a meeting.
It was a prank call, first of all, and he said finally he was able to get through to him. He said he was very apologetic when he spoke to him, and the man was sincere, and now they've decided that you are going to fix dates that would, be convenient for both of them to meet. So hopefully he gets to go speak to him about gay rights.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can change Vladimir Putin. I'm imagining, Elton John managing to convert Vladimir Putin and make him gay. That'll be
that's serious. I doubt if he will be able to, he will be
I
able
doubt
to.
that too, actually.
But quickly before I go, let's talk about Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez,
J-Lo.
Yes, yesterday I was telling you the fact that she and Halle Berry, I don't know which of them, gets lucky with men. Now, she's been asked why she prefers her girlfriends rather than her men. And she says, look, the men always come and go, but the girls are always there for her. So anytime, any day.
Is she dropping a hint?
Well, that's what people are asking, whether she's bisexual. I don't know. But that's what she says. She says the ladies are always there for her. She realized that after she divorced Mark Anthony, her girlfriends were still there. But he had left her. And so she always will prefer her female friends or her girlfriends over her men.
All right. And what's in the song?
The song, the song has to do with Katy Perry, who actually has topped the list of the females who have been able to sell their albums this year. Now she's top, and then fifth on the list, actually, that's what marvels a lot of people, is Beyonce. Beyonce is 5th on the list. Everybody thought that Beyonce would be, first on the list. But talking about songs, let's talk about the song that was played just after Nana Addo was done his speech.
why would they play a song like that?
I'm wondering why
Horror
the DJ...
folk room.
Exactly. You know, why the DJ would want to pick a song like that.
Horror. Horror folks are in town.
Yes. And it's like, oh, yeah, we'll chrome. It's like, okay, we are in town, you know. The horror folks are in town.
Who played that song, by the way?
Seriously, I'm yet to know the artist who did that song, but I'm just wondering why the DJ at that point would drop that song.
Horror folk room.
And yeah, we'll chrome.
Please play the horror folk room again for us as we go. But thank you very much, Ms. G, for bringing us entertainment.
Thank you, Easy.
Yeah, so let's entertain ourselves with some horror folk room before we go.
Entertainment news was brought to you.
It's time for sports, and Kwame Jumajamang is here. Good evening to you, Kwame.
Good evening, Easy.
I think I deserve to be congratulated.
Why?
Because Chelsea yesterday, we won against Dynamo Kiev, 2-1.
Okay.
Yeah, and I support Chelsea, you know that.
Oh, okay.
And Arsenal lost by what?
5-1.
Wow. But they were the same team that beat
Bayern only a few weeks ago by 2-0.
What happened?
It happens sometimes.
You know, Arsenal and their inconsistency.
Consistently inconsistent.
Oh, no. All right, what's coming up?
Well, let's begin from the camp of the local club that you support. You know your new coach, Kenichi Hasuyachi, is in town. And
people were hoping that, you know, after making fun of him and ridiculing his name, they'll find a new person, but he's not going anywhere.
Well, it doesn't look like he's going to go anywhere. He's already started a preseason with his boys, and he says he's happy with how preseason is panning out so far.
Our boys are taking it very seriously, and they're making an effort. Unfortunately, this is not where I want to see yet, but I have confidence with our players to reach where we need to be in very short time. Let me make it clear. What I say was our fans want to see our team to win the league and the FA Cup, and we try our best to win, achieve that what fan wants to do. Okay, but whether we can win, whether which team will win or not win, is unwritten. It's a future. You know, we try our best, and I know how to do it, but it's all up to our players to adapt and make it happen. You know, two teams are competing, and both teams have an equal chance to win any game. Okay? So there's no promise. Only thing we do is we making 100% effort, and I have confidence with our players. You know what? Our coaching staff is excellent. Our staff is excellent. You know, we are working as a technical team together, and all the staff are you know, supporting 100%. Our board members and all the staff in the office are supporting 100%. I'm very confident with them.
We also spoke to defender Owusu Bimpa, who is happy to work with a new manager.
We are very happy to have a new coach, and to me, I think she's good because the training routine that he's been giving us is really really good, and we've been enjoying him so far. We have been enjoying him. Yeah, I think we are experiencing new training, and I think to me or to my colleagues, everybody is talking about the way that he's been giving us the train that we are passing through. I think it's a new thing altogether, and we've been enjoying it, and I think it's going to bring good things this season. I think for now it's too early to have a target now because we are still on fitness level. We are trying to make sure we pass through our fitness level and make sure you go to the ball work. For now we are not on the ball work, so basically we are on physical training. So I think we are enjoying making sure that we get to our maximum level, that we can get that fitness for setting a target for ourselves this season.
Okay. For Health, 11 for Health project was in Accra a few days ago. The train has since touched down in Sierra Leone.